Shri Shri Ra Re 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 Shu Ra Re 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 Shu Ra Re 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 Akai Siru Koa Rai Sini Tu Koa E Rai Sini Tu Koa Anai Sini Tu Koa Anai Sini Tu Ishai Tai Kekerai Tushu Turua Ekerai Shi. Blessings, everybody. Welcome. I have just felt very internal lately, especially since there were some big energy shifts. I'm not sure if you also experienced that or also felt into that, or perhaps this transmission might assist you in becoming more aware of what it was that was happening in your life in the past couple of days or the past week, and what to take note of as we move forward and receive this energy. So the Pleiadian council is coming through, and they are transmitting this from the Pleiadian mothership that is anchored or stationed is the better word for this, very close to planet Earth. And this mothership, the consciousness of this mothership and the Pleiadians, the beings on this ship, has been coming up in many of the personal readings that I've done for others, and there is a very strong message that is coming through, that came through in my meditation just right before this, that prompted me to really record this transmission and this message that you need to hear right now, that a lot of people need to hear right now. So you might already have heard of and seen many people talking about the cosmic event that happened on the 25th of January. There were 6 planets that aligned, and this occurrence of 6 planetary alignment is not necessarily a very common thing. It's also not a very uncommon thing, but it happens once every blue moon. Along with this, there is an amplification of energy from this event that happens once every 12 years in India. It is called Kumbh Mela. This year's Kumbh Mela is the 12th cycle in 144 years. It is celebrated once every 12 years, and it is the 12th cycle in 144 years. So it's a really big thing in India, and the essence of it is that the energy is very supportive in assisting the ascension of consciousness. So basically, there was a big energy shift, not only on the 25th of January, but during this period as well. And I was really being nudged to look at what each planet symbolizes. And when I looked into it, the energy, that the essence and the code that was coming through is harmony in duality. And I'll break this down before I feel that a transmission is coming through and a message coming through from the Pleiadian Council, but this sets the scene on this transmission, which is the stabilization of this unity consciousness. When I looked into all these planets, I saw a pattern that was showing me the harmonization of polarities. So basically, they come in pairs. If you look at Mars and Venus, Mars is the masculine energy. To me, it feels very like hard. It feels very almost like fire. And then Venus, when I tapped into it, was such a beautiful violet purple energy, and there was this being that came through that looked so beautiful, and royal isn't even the word, but the beings in Venus wore such beautiful garments, if that is even the right word to describe it, and they wore really beautiful ornaments, jewelry that was made of gemstones, and the colors were just out of this world. So Venus is the feminine, it's love, it's beauty, and it feels soft as compared to Mars. So it's showing us the polar opposite ends of these energy, the feminine and the masculine. So it is balancing out these two aspects, these two energies. And then when we look at Uranus and we look at Saturn, Uranus is the planet of change, of breakthroughs, freedom. And for Saturn, it is quite the opposite. It is about structure. And the shadow aspect of Saturn is limitation as well. So again, you see the polar opposite ends of freedom, of breakthrough and liberation, and then limitation, structure. And so the harmonization of these two ends as well. And then lastly, when we look at the planets, Jupiter as well as Neptune, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, is the planet of growth, and Neptune is the planet of intuition and psychic awareness, psychic ability. So what these two planets in alignment are showing us is that there is a massive shift that is happening. All 6 of the planets in alignment is showing us that there is a massive harmonization, convergence of polar opposite ends. And when these two polar opposite ends that seemingly move in opposite directions, when it is intentionally brought together in the middle space, in the center, and what I vision is in the solar plexus, and then it moves to the heart and it opens out and radiates from the heart and the high heart. And when these two opposite directions come together, there is an energetic release, there's an energetic explosion, that what is happening is the union of the polarity, is the union of duality into non-duality. So it's not about balancing both ends, it's about converging and integrating the dark and the light, converging the feminine and the masculine, converging the heaven and earth, and coming together into unity consciousness, into non-duality. And then that radiates out from your heart, from your high heart space, and that is the energy, that is the template of the new earth. That is the new earth consciousness, and these templates are really anchoring in so strongly during that cosmic alignment. And also, the other layer to this is when we look at Jupiter and Neptune, it is showing us growth and expansion of consciousness, which is almost like a wave of spiritual awakening in the masses, and that more people are going to be more awakened to their intuition, to their intuitive abilities, to their psychic abilities, if they so choose to. And that this whole expansion is also a theme that is celebrated in Kumbh Mela. So all of this is really showing us that the massive shift in humanity is an expansion in consciousness and love and unity consciousness, the new earth consciousness templates that are really anchoring in super strongly. Just as I look at the timer, it's 1:44. If that isn't a confirmation, then I don't know what is. And a couple of days before this cosmic alignment, I was noticing that my emotions were very much polarized, and it's been quite some time since I responded emotionally in this regard. And it was interesting to observe because I would almost get into that wave and that tornado of emotion, and then I would come out of it and realize, why did I respond that way? It's been quite some time since I actually felt the extremities of these emotions, and why am I being swept up in this current? I have been practicing really well to stay in the middle space, and while I acknowledge these emotions then told me that this is what it is about. It is the harmonization of both ends that causes the amplification of the extreme polar ends as well. So you might have noticed that in your experience or in your life. You might also notice very extreme things that you observe, whether it's in your life or whether it's outside. And yesterday and today was when I really saw the darkness in in humanity, in the greed and just all these things that I just got so sad, so angry, so frustrated. And then in my practice during meditation, the message was that these ends are coming to light, the darkness, the light. The darkness is purging, it's coming to light so much more intensely because it is part of the light that needs to come through. Because of the intensity of the darkness, the shadows, that is when the light then, it's almost like it needs the darkness to then anchor the light in as well. And it's not about choosing a side, it's about realizing that in my previous transmission on reconciling darkness and light, reconciling the opposite ends and the non-duality transmission, I feel like it's coming through again, which of course, because it's the template of the new earth, it is not about choosing which side, which camp you want to be in and then sort of demonizing the other side. The point is to come back to love, and love is the frequency of the new earth. Okay, with that, I feel like we're ready to receive this calibration, to receive an anchor in the codes, the templates of the new earth. So thank you. You're part of this virtual grid work. Thank you so much for showing up, for staying till this point, receiving the codes, and it's through your channel, it is through you that the codes flow through you and into the land that you are on, the space that you are in. Shmoe tene shui sete ke kere tenu koe shai sete re shete re 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 kai shunu sususu ai sete kukukuru ai setu kukuku ai setu kukuku ai shete nai sa. Clearing your channel. Shmoe sete karai sete nai dai blasting this white light of purification before you receive these codes. Shukwarai sete no shumai sete rai clearing, clearing. Shukwai sete no kwai sete no kwai sete no kwai sete no. Erai sutunu kwai setenu kwai setenu shkwai setenu kukumua shete kukumua shete kukumua ke setenu kukukukuku kwai senai shutuku Ekera ete te 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 ete te 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 su ku ai shetenai setenai she ke shetenai ke ku ai shetenai sete ku ai shutu ku shutu ku Ukoeterae, 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 ukoeterae. Shatarai senete kukua eshetene kukua eshetene kukua eshetene akai se tetera eshete kua esetena esha o kua eshetera ese to sheta ese to shera ese to eke na esete no kua eshetena ese to kukua eshetera ese shu kua eshete kua esete kua esete no kua Shukuai setenai, shukuai setere, kere shuoi setero, shetere, shukuai sete, ekaisha, 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 ekarararara, shete, karararara, shete, akarararara, shete. Many of you listening to this right now, there is no coincidence that you're still receiving this as we are transmitting this to you. You are a part of us. And what we mean by this is that before you descended into this physical body, you were stationed on this Pleiadian mothership. That you chose to descend into a physical body to assist in the evolution of humanity. Right now, humanity is experiencing the peak of duality, of the extreme ends of darkness and light. And yes, just like darkness, there is also the extreme addiction to light that demonizes the dark. Begin to notice, not just within yourself, when you feel extreme emotions, when you experience intense experiences that takes you out of the middle space, the eye of the tornado. Observe also externally the events that are happening that seem intense and extreme. The darkness needs to be there for the light to come through. It is within the void, within the darkness, that light is found and birthed. There is no way to bypass that. The darkness, the shadow. And it is not about which one is right, which one is wrong, which one is good, which one is bad. It's about love. That is how you converge these two ends. That is how you stay in your middle space, in the eye of the tornado. That is how you bring forth the codes of the new earth. These events are simply the experiences for you to practice anchoring in love. This is all a game that is very real, a game that you are not supposed to escape from. Knowing that it is a game, it is a simulation, but experiencing, enjoying, relinquishing in it every second, in the good and the bad, being in this duality, anchoring in non-duality. The answer is love. Sheikaire no sutukumuai shete kai sunukuai shete sasasai sheteku ekai sheteku ekai sheteku ekai sheteku narai sete nukuai she narai se shai tekiru kuai shanai seteku masataka shete no shukua isete no shutukua rai sekarai sanatatata. Stay in the eye of the tornado. Be the observer and observe with curiosity. There will be things in your life that will pull you towards opposite ends. And the amplification of the polar opposites is part of the harmonization. If you're not in your middle space, you'll get swept into it. And again, that is not a bad thing either. It is just a sign to come back. And it's a sign of what's happening. So begin to observe that. Become aware of it. Moving forward. Awareness is all that you need. Shamalai kinai seku tutuai seku tutua eseku tutua eseku ruai shene seteka enai seteka shutukukuma seteka shutukuma seteka shu. Transmission complete. Thank you so much for receiving this, sealing this space in the highest light, in the highest crystalline structure of this divine templates. Ekirai shunukuai sete kai shete no kuai sete no kuai shete no kuai shete no sa re sha ere sha shu shu no kuai sa. All work complete. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. The best way to ground this in is to go out in nature. If you can take a swim in the ocean or in a lake, or go for a forest walk, or just head outside, take a deep breath in, And send this energy that you just received out from your heart space into the space around you, into the sky, to the trees, to the plants, to the people that you see, to the buildings if you're living in a city, to the cars, to all that is conscious, which is everything. Send it out. And feel free to stay in this frequency for as long as you like.